Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We have a new ex-girlfriend of Brayden speaking out. Doesn't really call him out, but also doesn't not call him out. Says basically they dated until a couple months before the show started. Did you know, guys, you have to clear your schedule and not date anybody for at least 48 months before going on a show about dating? All right, we're going to get into this story right now. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals, patreon.com/Dave Neal for behind-the-scenes bonus content. Enjoy the jokes, enjoy the fun. Well, contribute to the membership community if you have the funds. Maybe it's a tax write-off. I don't know. I'm not an accountant, but go to patreon.com/Dave Neal. And every afternoon, featured in Time Magazine, featured in today's episode or issue of Washington Post, which I do not pay for, so I barely read. You can find the Bachelor Rush Hour podcast. And let's get into it. So, Brayden posted yesterday, we covered this story. He posted his sort of goodbye Instagram post, which was kind of like, thanks for letting me be weird on camera. I'm not the best version of myself, but I'm trying, that type of deal, which was generally received well. And 2 days ago, actually, we covered this. Oh man, this. What do you want? What's a War of Peace length TikTok dissertation? She did an 88-part series. No, she did an 8-part series, all of them 3 minutes long. She did a whole episode of Seinfeld's worth of content about a date relationship she had with Brayden. So Brayden's ex warns Charity, which of course Charity and Brayden are not together. Brayden's ex could have texted Brayden and said, "Hey, are you with Charity?" And Brayden would have been like, "No, we broke up. It didn't work out." And then she would have been like, "Okay, then I won't make this TikTok." But did that happen? No, of course not. And she's allowed to tell her story. It's up to us, the good people of YouTube, to look through this and comb through the different, call outs to see what is worth it. Well, this one is by, wrong one. Hold on. See, this is the problem with TikTok. You touch anything and it just goes to a whole different thing. So here we have for a Wim Hof, a TikToker here. And I tell you what, I've done this before. It is aggressive when you go into the ice bath like that. It is cold. It feels like getting punched in the lungs. But either way, this is Patty, MZX Patricia, and here's what she has to say about Brayden. POV, you dated, and by the way, I don't understand. I get it. I'm old. I don't get it. I should be on the Golden Bachelor. I'm the Golden Recapper. That's right. You want a power recapper, you got a Golden Recapper. I got grays, baby. I got grays all day long. You dated one person in San Diego, spend the holidays, meet the fam, and they end up on The Bachelor right after. I don't know how that's a point of view, but this is a nice selfie. She's got that nice little cow what's it called, the little nose ring there, nice little side part, whatever you want to call this. She looks very nice here, but the actual TikTok is harmless. Here it is, the music. It's just her pensively looking at the screen. And then it is a bunch of just a montage of them dating, a lot of tongues being stuck out, which probably would have worked well in the fantasy suite. All right, what are you doing with that? Kids these days, they love to eat ass. All right, what are we talking about? All right, are they going to do that on the Golden Bachelor? Oh, no. Okay, anyway. So anyway, if the actual montage is fine, and someone saying, "Look, I dated this guy too. Like I also dated him." Now, but what does it say about the TikToker? And again, no hate. This is just the world we live in, right? This is just the world we live in. The TikToker is saying that you dated this person, spend the holidays, meet the fam, and they end up on The Bachelor right after. Now, best case scenario, he films The Bachelor March, April, Bachelorette. So it started airing in July. It filmed in this, even if it filmed January 2nd, if they broke up January 1st, he's allowed to move on with his life. He's allowed to pursue a new relationship. Have you ever let he who has not banged somebody the day after breaking up cast the first stone? Was that in the Bible? How does that work? Two scared of commitment people put together was interesting. It all ended for the greater good. I wish you the best of luck on your journey. So while it says I wish you the best of luck on your journey, it also says, hey, I dated this guy right before. And she posted this 11 hours ago after his journey on the show ended. Commenter said, this is the second TikTok I've seen this man with someone. I was so convinced. Okay, so look, I don't know. And then she hashtagged anxious avoidant relationships. Maybe he is anxious avoidant. Maybe they're both anxiously avoidant. I'm not sure. Either way, it's no hate to MZX Patricia here. But obviously these types of TikToks are made so that someone can, receive some form of clout equity. I guess we'll call it clout equity, which is to say he was on the show. I used to date him. I will get a piece of that pie. And look, hey, maybe I would do the same. Who knows? Either way, Charity, we reported yesterday or a couple days ago, says, did he not come on the show knowing it was the Bachelorette? Make it make sense. I found it very interesting when I looked at Two Black Girls, One Rose. They were on our podcast a couple weeks ago, and they commented about Brayden, and they have an unpopular opinion. Brayden told no lies. Here's what they had to say about Brayden.
I mean, is Brayden wrong, though? So on our podcast, we had a deep discussion about this Brayden character, and I have so many thoughts. Yes, Brayden wasted his time, he wasted Charity's time, he wasted everybody's time by coming on this show in a process that he outright doesn't agree with. Every few seasons, we get this character who just can't get with the program and just buy into the fact that this process ends in an engagement. We kind of saw this a little bit with Rachel Lindsay and Peter, who refused to propose. He just couldn't get with the idea of proposing and essentially getting engaged to somebody who he just met. I mean, I understood the fear. The issue with Brayden is he talked too damn much, and he was stupid to trust these guys with any of his thoughts. But at the core of what he was saying, I don't think he was really saying anything wrong. For some of the guys who haven't yet been on a one-on-one date...
Which, by the way, was kind of like Thomas, how Thomas trusted Aaron. Was it Aaron? Do I have the right people? Aaron Clancy? Was Aaron Clancy on Thomas's season? So Thomas trusted them on Katie Thurston's season to say, hey, yeah, if this doesn't work out, I would do the Bachelor, sure, if we end up not working out. And then they go back to Katie and say, Thomas is here for the wrong reason. Of course, Katie kicks Thomas out. Then soon after realizes Thomas is actually not a bad guy. Thomas actually has had a very fine friendship with Katie following their season, or at least have been cordial. He's helped her out with some business, which might not be public record, but I think it's safe to say that it shows that he's a good guy. Now, you've got that happening, and in this season, you've got Brayden being called out by Aaron. The new Aaron is friends with the Aaron from Thomas's season, and it seems they're playing the same game, which is take anything that he says and use it against him, and you can't really defend yourself because it just looks shady.
To be talking about hometowns and their deep feelings and deep connections with Charity, and to be talking about an engagement is crazy. The issue is they've all bought into this fantasy and are saying all of the things that you have to say. Meanwhile, Brayden lives on planet Earth and is trying to infuse planet Earth realism into this process. And really, none of us know this woman. Let's be for real. That's kind of what he was saying. When Brayden said he was looking for a connection, the guys were very quick to point out that you're not right for her. She's looking for engagement. But isn't it kind of crazy to be striving for an engagement when the history of this process and these engagements ain't all that hot?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to play this in probably my next episode. Hannah Brown was just on Caitlin Bristow's Off the Vine podcast and said about her engagement to Jed, it didn't even count. I don't even know that guy. It didn't count. Now, sometimes you get Grocery Store Joe and Serena, their engagement turned into an actual marriage. That can happen. But in other cases, it's just like a formality of the show. It's not what it is. And like when I got engaged after a long-term relationship, that engagement held more weight than an engagement you watch on the show. That's just a fact. That's just how it works.
Shouldn't you be striving for a good connection with Charity at most? Now, I get it. This is the process of the Bachelorette. You got to get engaged. You got to buy into it or kick rocks. But I don't think Brayden really said anything wrong. His process just wasn't for him and he had to go. We dive in deep on the podcast this week on this whole debacle. Give it a listen. Let us know what you think.
All right, very well done. And of course, I commented, great take as always. And then 6 minutes after me, Dear Shandy commented, great take as always. Well, great podcasts think alike. Great podcasts that have been featured in Time Magazine think alike. Margaret says, I think he's going to thrive on Paradise, and I wouldn't be surprised by him having a Thomas-esque redemption arc. He wasn't wrong in his assessments, but being right was undercut by also being insufferable. I don't know if I'd call him insufferable, but I definitely understood his giddiness. Like, put it this way. If he was not competing against all these other men for the lady of the hour, Charity, then they probably would enjoy him. Like, say he met a girl and he goes back to his buddies. He's on spring break and he's like, oh my gosh, I kissed this girl last night. It was incredible. Oh, her lips tasted like lemon drops. Her butt was as firm as the God's given ground. I don't know, whatever. What do kids say these days? You know what I mean? Her oblique muscles, she must have gone to CrossFit. She sounded as poetic. Okay, you get the point. Yeah, your friends would be like, cool, man. Yeah, all right, cool, whatever. But because you're competing, they're like, all right, quit rubbing it into my face. So if you look at Brayden, now again, it's all working out. He got the most stage time probably of anybody that's been in the first 4 episodes of a show, right? He got a lot of stage time, a 101, first impression, and the villain. That's like the trifecta, right? He got all that. So when you look at that, you go, wow, Brayden, here's what you could have done differently, but at the same time, it worked for you in the sense that you got a lot of stage time. But what he could have done differently was kept his lips a little less loose when it came to his giddiness. And, that's it. He's the type of guy that's just like excited to tell other people, oh my gosh, I got a boner, whatever. And it doesn't always work out that way. All right. So anyway, and by the way, the 2 Black Girls, 1 Rose, they didn't necessarily call out Charity, but they did side with Brayden to say, like, look, Charity, you got to realize he's okay having doubt. Like, if this was Gladiators and Charity was like, hey, Brayden, I want you to fight on Gladiators, you're gonna survive. Then Brayden goes, but haven't 19 of the last 20 gladiators died? Yeah, but you gotta, it's like, that type of deal where it's like, not to be a realist and ruin the party here, but I don't think this is gonna work. Well, then why did you come on the show? I don't know, because I didn't have anything else to do. We're bored. So anyway, his ex posted and, got a couple negative comments. I'll read a couple to you right here, just from people going, I just can't imagine caring enough to post about any of my exes after they became a little bit famous. Someone said, and that's because you aren't addicted to clout. People crave attention now thanks to social media giving everyone a platform. Yeah, and that's the same thing with the Miranda Lambert issue, where I can't believe how many people disagreed with me. So Miranda Lambert stopped a concert because there were people taking a photo. It was labeled a selfie, but it was a photo. There were 6 women with their back turned to the stage, spread out so that the camera could get Miranda Lambert, and they were taking flash photography. And Miranda stops the concert and says, no, can we not do this? I'm trying to perform here. And some people have the audacity to tell me they paid a lot of money for their tickets. Well, if someone comes to my stand-up show and you pay a lot of money for tickets, I guarantee I'm kicking you out of the show if you are standing up and taking photos during the show. You're gone. Crack an egg to make an omelet. You know what I mean? That's my thought. I'll have more on that later. We'll be back right after this.